Hello everyone. I decided to do a recording tonight. Go through a few things in Statdisk since a few students have asked for it. I know with so many people in the class, it's sometimes hard to get everybody to be able to meet at a specific time. I had internet issues last night because of storm. It's storming tonight, so hopefully I'll be able to get this done before any issues. Um, my wife's upstairs actually watching a tornado chaser chasing tornadoes in Minnesota or something like that. Um, so I'm just going to go through it. This shouldn't be a long video or anything. You can see right now on here, I have Statdisk up. You just gotta type in www.statdisk.com and you get this. It comes up with 3 different books. I just usually exit out and I get this spreadsheet here. You're going to be doing 2 projects involving Statdisk, but you can use Statdisk on your homework even. A lot of that you're probably going to type in the data, which isn't too bad. You just type in numbers as you go through, and then if you have a lot of data with a lot of common numbers, you can actually highlight this and then Control C and paste it. So here I can paste and get a lot more pretty quickly. So I have 20 45s on here then, and then if I want to start with 46, I start typing in a few and then pasting that however many times I need it. For the data sets for the projects, you go up to data set. I think it's going to have you pick the 14th edition. The first one should be commute times right here. That's going to pull up the data for commute times. The other one should be I think it's body data, but whatever the name is, it's listed in the project itself. I'm going to pull up let's do, there's a really good one. I'm trying to find where it was. Some of these are different, so I gotta see where they are. Home sales. So it lists a whole lot of data: selling prices of homes, the list prices, area, acres, age, and so on. The first thing I want to show you is you can sort the data. So you hit data tools, sort data. Always keep this all columns. These are set up so like row 1 is a specific house, so you don't want to just sort one column and then it's all messed up at that point. You'll have to go in, clear that, and bring it back up again. So always keep that all columns, and then we can sort selling price. A to Z is low to high, Z to A is high to low. So we can see the highest one is $520,000 for the selling price. And then if you need to sort it with another column, you just then choose another column to sort it. So do area from A to Z. So the smallest area is going to be 166. It's probably acres for that. The units are in, not acres. The area would be yards squared maybe. Units will be listed in the book, in the back of the book. I do know that, but they don't list them. I wish they did. They don't list them on here. So we can get different statistics based on this. So we can go up to data, and this is probably the number one thing we'll be using. Explore data gives us a whole lot. We'll just pick a column, so we'll pick selling price. So the average selling price, or the mean, is 342,672.5. We have 40 houses listed. The median is 309,000. The mid-range is 365,000. Standard deviation it gives us. This is probably the easiest way to find the standard deviation, is just to plug in the data values in Statdisk and take it from here. This is the sample standard deviation. Right? It assumes that the data in there is a sample. And then it gives you the range. These other numbers you will see a little bit in chapter 3. Maybe have a couple not this one, but the coefficient variation. I think there's a question on it. Then it gives you the 5-number summary, what you need to make a box plot. So the lowest selling price was 210,000, highest was 520,000, median was 309,000, and then quartile 1, and then quartile 3, and then it gives you the histogram, and so you can kind of see if it looks like a normal distribution or not. This really isn't what I would say a normal distribution would look like, and it gives the box plot. And so this shows that the median is kind of pushed to the lowest value here, and so there's a lot of higher values on this side here that's kind of shifting this, which is pretty much why it's probably not a normal distribution. And then when we get to chapter 6, you'll see a normal quartile, and this right here tells me it's not a normal distribution at all. We can also look at the box plot itself, where we can just pick selling price, click on the box plot, and it gives us the 5-number summary to the side and the same box plot. This allows us to actually, if you wanted to, you can take a photograph of it. And then you can also make a modified box plot. The modified box plot, it misses, it takes out the lines here, and if the last data points are the lowest or highest data points are outliers, the lines won't go that far. So I think taxes is one like that. Actually, let me put on both. Oh no, let me not do that. Numbers don't work. So for taxes, you see there's a couple. Well, here, let me put the regular box plot on first. All right, it goes that far, goes all the way just shy of 10K, and then when we do the modified box plot, the line is shorter because those two values here are the highest two values. They are outliers. And then if we want to find those exact values, we just gotta go to the data and sort the data. So we're going to sort the tax column. And since they were high values, let's put the highest values on the top. So 9,809 and 9,135 are outliers for this data set when it comes to taxes. It's possibility that you could have a couple values that are the same values, and it will only show one asterisk. So you always want to check the data itself to see exactly how many outliers it is, because if it has like 2 or 3 outliers that are the same value, you will see one asterisk for those 3 values. I'm not sure if this data set has any like that. Let me see. Look at some of these baths. Okay, there's one outlier for the number of baths. So let's see if that's just one data point or a couple. All right, just one house had 4 bathrooms. Apparently that's considered an outlier. Based on how the mathematics for outlier will work, that would be considered outlier. See if another one. Bedrooms, number of rooms. Not a lot of these. Here we go. That's age has 1 outlier. So sorted by age. And just 144. So I can't find any right now that have multiple outliers of the same number. So with that being said, the data analysis, the explore data, histogram, box plot, and scatter plot are going to be the 4 things that you will use most within our first 4 chapters. In the chapter 5, and I won't go into a lot of this, but you'll use probability distributions, normal, student t, and the binomial distribution. We'll do the sample size determination, confidence intervals, and hypothesis testing, and correlation regression. Those 5 are on the second half of this, so I'm not going to go over them in this video, but when we get to that, pay attention to the notes, because I would do it on Statdisk in the notes. And it's not too bad. It's really just entering data, but you have to know where to enter the data, what data to enter, and make sure, basically, you know, all your T's are crossed, all your I's are dotted, and you have everything in there right to get the right answer. The last thing, the scatter plot. We can compare different things, so we can compare selling price and taxes. And I'm going to take off the regression line, and we see that as the selling price increases, so does the taxes. And the selling price, that I wouldn't say is the cause of the taxes increase. This is good thing with, it's not a causation, it's a correlation. Both the selling price and the taxes has to do with most likely the size of the house. So we look at area. We also see, you know, there's an increase as area increases, taxes increases, and so we should see the same thing with area and selling price, and we do. Exact same kind of trend. And then, you know, the regression line, we can use that to see that trend. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention with this. You can't really destroy the data set. You know, once you clear it, you can always go back in and just reopen it. And it's, you know, has a default setting. I wouldn't suggest deleting columns. I noticed that sometimes causes a little bit of a disruption in when it's calculating things. If you're making your own data set, you could title it, but you don't really need to, unless it's something you kind of want to do, remember it. Unfortunately, there's no way to save data, but you can copy this into maybe Excel to save it, or into maybe a Word document if you make a spreadsheet and save it if you wanted to. That's about it with this. Let me know if you have any questions. If you need any help on that project, let me know as well. For that first project, I did one of the columns as an example. If you can look at that example, see where I got the numbers from, and kind of mirror the other cities, it can get the data, or at least you know you're on the right track for the data. All right, well, just let me know. Bye.